semicircular ring. Now we will discuss about how to calculate center of mass of a semicircular disc. Okay, semicircular disc is a two-dimensional body. The given mass of the disc will appear on its surface area. So semicircular disc means its surface area will be half of the area of a circle, that is pi r square by 2. Right. Now we will discuss uniform semicircular disc. Uniform semicircular disc. Okay. So again, as I am using the word semi-uniform, means mass distribution will be constant. So here that means mass per unit surface area, mass per unit surface area will be constant. Is that okay? Mass per unit surface area will be constant. That is this time, for example, mass per unit surface area, if I denote it with the term sigma, so that means it is m divided by pi r square. That is equal to constant value, right? So m by pi r square will be the mass per unit area. So again, what I will do, I will consider the two reference line, mutually perpendicular reference line, such as x-axis and y-axis, as I took it in case of semicircular ring. So now, in a same way, I will consider the semicircular disc is placed on xy plane such that y-axis can be treated as the line of symmetry for this semicircular disc. So a half circle is drawn. This time this half circle is the semicircular disc. Okay, it is assumed to be of radius r. So surface area is pi r square by 2. Sorry, here I have missed it. Pi r square by 2. That will be because we are talking about semicircular disc. So for full circle, we know that surface area is pi r square. For half circle, it will be pi r square by 2. So if m be the mass given as if it is distributed uniformly on the given surface area, which is pi r square by 2. So mass per unit surface area will be, that is denoted by the term sigma, that is m by pi r square by 2. Now think about the previous discussion where mass was available lengthwise, that means either it was of a uniform rod is concerned, or even it was the case of semicircular ring. The element body was taken lengthwise. On a rod we take the element along the length, right? In case of semicircular ring, we took the element along its circumference. In both cases, the existence of element was lengthwise. Why? Because in every geometry, depending on the dimension of the geometry, you are allowed to consider the smallest segment within the geometry as the element part of it, right? So when a geometry is second degree, so your element body selection should be something like that, so that you can choose the smallest mass from the given geometry, but that smallest mass should also be having the same dimension as that of the dimension of this particular dimensional body. That means if the semicircular disc is 2D, that is 2 dimension, its mass is available area wise, so your element body within the given mass should be taken a small identity, but that too should be available area wise. What I will do, I will consider one semicircular ring. I will consider one semicircular ring of certain thickness. This time I will consider the semicircular ring of certain thickness, so that objective of taking it of certain thickness means so that we can define the surface area availability of this element body. Had it not been taken of this thickness, then we could say it is a semicircular ring of undefined area. But as I said that from the dimension of a 2D, the element should be taken of any geometry, whatever the geometry you think about for selecting an element body, but that element body should also have the same dimension as that of the primary body is concerned, right? So that's why from a two-dimensional semi-circular disc, we can choose one semicircular ring of some thickness as a element part of it having same dimension order. So that's why I took capital R as the radius of the disc. So I can take small r, for example, small r as the radius of the semicircular ring, and let it be of certain thickness dr. I can say a semicircular ring, of radius small r and thickness dr is element part or element body on this semicircular disc, Are you getting my point? On the surface of semicircular disc, we are assuming a semicircular ring of radius r and of thickness dr. Why we are taking the semicircular ring of certain thickness as the element body on the surface of this semicircular disc? Why can't we take a triangular geometry as the element body? Why can't we take a square geometry as the element body on the surface only? Why can't I take a small circle as the element body? Right. The process of selecting element body in a given dimensional body should be taken in such a way so that no wastage of mass is taken into account. See what will happen on a given surface. If you think about taking small circular portion, then you know that in between three circles, those who touches each other, there is some region which is neither the common portion of any of the circles. So that will be that segment, this is that segment, right, where whose mass will remain unused in calculating the center of mass of the circular disc, semicircular disc, then conservation of mass will fail. So we can't take any such geometry suggesting the element body so that some mass of the primary body remains unused. So order of selecting semicircular, on the surface of semicircular disc, we must choose the element body in such a way so that all the element bodies taken together will use the entire mass of the semicircular disc. No loss of or no unused mass can be left, right? So that's why you can understand all semicircular ring can compose the semicircular disc. The thought of semicircular ring, we can grow or we can complete the structure of semicircular disc. And this is the first thing. And second thing, we know the center of mass of a semicircular ring itself. Just we did the previous expression. In the previous derivation, we found the position of center of mass of a semicircular ring for uniform mass distribution. And it was on its line of symmetry, on its axis of symmetry from its center at a distance 2 by pi times the radius. So this will be, I can say dm will be the mass of element body as half ring. So this half ring itself is a dimensional geometry. The element body itself is a dimensional geometry. So its own center of mass location should be somewhere at this distance, right? Y is written 2 by pi times its radius, isn't it? Center of mass of the semicircular ring itself, which is equal to 2 by pi times the radius of the semicircular ring on its line of symmetry. So now if I say the entire semicircular disk is nothing but other than the composition of semicircular rings taken one after another, then against all those semicircular rings, their own mass will lie definitely on this line only, which is the line of symmetry for the semicircular disk as well, isn't it? So if semicircular ring is an element body against a semicircular disk, and as we know the mass of each and every single semicircular ring will be located at a point on the axis only. So therefore we can, with this argument, we can say the center of mass of the semicircular disk will also lie on this line of symmetry, isn't it? So therefore we can write down as, since center of mass of all the semicircular rings will lie on the line of symmetry, and hence center of mass of semicircular disk should also lie on this line of symmetry, that is on y-axis as per the consideration of position of semicircular disk with respect to this coordinate axis. The y-axis is the line of symmetry, and hence by argument we are getting the possibility of finding center of mass of semicircular disk, that too on the line of symmetry only. So that's why we can calculate YCM of the semicircular disk, which is integration of dm into y divided by integration of dm, right? We don't need to talk about the XCM calculation. Why? Because center of mass will lie on the line of symmetry, and line of symmetry here is y-axis, so XCM is definitely 0. So that's why we are directly calculating YCM only. So well, dm, what will be dm? Dm will be mass of this half ring, as we have written it over here. So mass on unit area is sigma, that into surface area, this shaded region you can see, that shaded region will be the surface area of the half ring. So that will be circumference into circumference pi into small r into thickness, isn't it? The rectangular strip does possess its area, length into breadth or thickness. Similarly, circumference into thickness will be the surface area of the strip, semicircular ring. So that is length, that is circumference, pi r, half ring, that into thickness dr. As we took the radius of the half ring is smaller and its thickness as dr. So this is the numerator part, that into y. Instead of y means this, so that I can write down it is 2 by pi times the smaller whole divided by integration of all the masses taken together, all such, adding all the mass of the half rings, we will get the total mass of the half disk only. So that's why I have directly written it m. Now here I can cancel out pi. So taking sigma out of integration, we are getting it is 2 also getting out, it is r square dr. Are you getting me? 2 sigma by m is out of integration, so it is r square dr, where small r varying from 0 to capital R, because all the rings means ring can start from 0 value. Radius of the ring can vary from 0 to capital R, because capital R is the radius of the semicircular disc. So this calculation will become small r cube by 3 integration of algebraic form x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1, right. So it is small r cube by 3, putting the limit, so it will be 2 sigma by 3 m, right, into capital R cube minus 0. So finally 2 by 3 m, instead of sigma I can write down it is 2m by pi capital R square, that into R cube, isn't it? Like in the previous derivation, in case of semicircular ring, there I took the mass per unit length was lambda, and in final position of center of mass calculation we converted lambda into mass. Here also we are converting sigma into the other term. So therefore m gets cancelled out, 1 r left in the numerator, so we are getting it is 4 by 3 4r by 3 pi. It is 4r by 3 pi. So again we are getting the center of mass of the semicircular disc will again lie on the line of symmetry, but this time at a different distance from center. Previously it was 2 by pi times the radius, this time it is 4 by 3 pi times the radius. So I can say center of mass of the disc is here, for example center of mass of disc, right. So such that this distance will be equal to 4 by 3 r by pi. Okay, so this is the way we can locate the center of mass of the semicircular disc, which is a uniform dimensional body, two-dimensional body, where mass is available distributed uniformly on every unit area. So from there onwards, utilizing the information of semicircular ring as the element body, and I made it clear that the argument was something like that. On a dimensional body, the selection of element body should also be available as per the same dimension. Geometry, that can be anything what you find the appropriate, but while selecting the geometry of element, right, you must consider the total mass of the given geometry of the dimensional body must be used in n number of elements that you are taking, right. So I hope so this derivation is also thorough. You got this method, you got the idea about how to utilize integration in finding center of mass. So we have done 2 geometry. Okay, we will be doing next geometry or as a calculation of finding center of mass of hollow hemisphere and then solid hemisphere also. Okay.